Um,
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is the scene for the Living World of Darkness Change the Venue. In this scene, we're going to be going over the second half of Zander's Saining. So when last we left our valiant young, he was at a gathering of elders, or at least elders to him, of House Liam, and he had came back from one of his trials with at least some guidance, or at least some guidance on what the next part of his ordeals were leading him to. What are you doing?
Pardon?
What are you doing?
Flipping through a book. Is it that loud?
Yeah, oh, you're right under the mic.
Wow, okay. So yeah, it seems that we will have to be going back to the keep. The next trial will be outside the grounds of the keep area.
So Valef looks a little skeptical, but Aiden kind of nods once, and Valef's like, all right, well, if that's where it's to be done, you will slice free another kind of like wound almost into the fabric of this near dreaming locale, and gesture for Zander to step through. This will take you back to your keep. However, considering this is part of your test, I will not follow. He looks at Zander. He's like, he looks him over. Yeah, this will do. He snags a button from his shirt.
Okay.
This will allow us to observe.
Okay. He will go through.
Okay. As Zander walks through, there's that sensation of weightlessness, and this time it's not a feeling of years falling free from Zander, but more like the crossing of like vast distances as he's moved magically from his previous locale back to the more familiar area of the Dear Dreaming, where his keep is. You step out of this rift in space that Surveillance has created for you, and you're looking over the keep. You're at the top rampart, so you can see like over the surrounding grounds and stuff like that. And mentally, there is the recognition of a map that was kind of formed when the roller queen kind of like bounded down the hillside after passing your last trial. So your directions are somewhat clear in front of you. You're not sure where this map's directions lead you exactly, because you've never taken this particular route through the forest that surrounds the keep, but like most forests, it's possible that it could have like magical pathways that you're unfamiliar with. It is the dreaming.
Okay. I'll set in mind my destination and walk my path.
You're not an issue. You're not an issue. You follow the map. So as Zander like begins to set his feet about the directions that is provided on this ancient map, or this roller query, it takes hours, but the landscape changes differently. kind of like it changed that one time when you were exploring the surrounding your dream of your keep, where the forest gets thicker and thicker, and then the trees take on a almost like metallic kind of sheen to them. Um,
Hmm. Okay. I'll take note of that as I'm continuing to walk on.
As you continue, the changes to the surrounding environments become more notable, more fantastical. Trees with delicate bark-like structures that's crafted instead from this beautiful, almost like shining, like um, silver or alabaster in some odd cases. After another 15 minutes of travel or so, like in the distance, he could hear a low, mournful howl that kind of clings to the forest, kind of the forest canopy. And then there's the howl kind of ushers in like a low mist that begins to just lick at Zander's feet and pretty much over the grass of this entire like forest area. It's very slow forming mist and very thin at this point.
Okay. I'll just take a look around real quick, see what's going on. But I'll keep moving forward.
Okay. Would you mind giving me a perception? Well, give me an intelligence gray mirror roll first.
Okay. That's 3.
Okay. Somehow, without ever being taught this, you know that this mist is kind of like is a herald, kind of like a diplomat will announce the arrival of a lord or a lady. Somehow this effect that is kind of rolling out at your feet, that's connected to the appearance of some powerful creatures that lie in the dreaming. All right, so give me a perception kitty roll next.
Damn it. 1, 2, 3.
All right, so Zander senses a vast amount of glamour that's oddly flavored with an odd type of self-righteous rage. It's not the first time that you've experienced glamour, you've experienced glamour that has like some kind of like emotional resonance to it. But it does have like this righteous anger and almost like a burning quality to it.
Okay. I'm going to use hopscotch, and climb a tree and see if I can get a view from a distance.
Okay, that's a pretty good, decent idea. So you're, of course, rolling your complete Wayfair stat plus your complete Faith stat. Difficulty is going to start at 5 this time because we increased the difficulty. So you can buy it down from there with Glamour.
Four.
That is only actually one success because for casting cantrips, you have to declare a bump you're using or else the difficulty is. So one success with Wayfair gets us not much of a jump. It's a more like a 5-footer. So you get kind of to like one of the lower hanging branches of these like silvery trees, and you kind of grab one, but they're not only like look silvery, but they feel more like the metal itself as well. But like trees, it's silver, so it's slippery, but it has like these grooves, just like bark would. So it's you get one of the lower hanging ones. So you have a starting point. Give me a strength athletics roll to see like if you got how far you can haul yourself up into the tree. At least on the first turn.
Not far.
So it's not a box because you have one that the 9 saves you.
Right.
But Zander's having a hard go of it before eventually he falls from the tree. You're only 5 feet up. You're only 5 feet up. Give me a dex athletics roll to see how gracefully you land. Just to make sure you don't hurt yourself, like twist an ankle or anything. You laugh fine. A little bit deflated because it's just a frustrating situation, but you land fine. You're more pissed off than like anything else.
I'm going to chalk it up to the tree being slippery. There you go. We're gonna move on.
How many times have you practiced climbing up a silver tree?
Exactly. There you go.
All right. So where are you off to next?
Actually, I'm going to try it again because I want to know what's going on. So it's like maybe I can get a better grasp of the situation.
Maybe you could use a bump this time too.
Yeah, and Zander will, since it's hopscotch, he will click his heels.
Okay. Roll them bones. That's better. 1, 2, 3 successes, which gets us about 2 stories straight up. So, unlike previously, Zander goes, after you click your heels together, you kind of bound like straight up through this foliage of this tree. This tree still has leaf-like appendages, like in the upper regions of it, to help with some mysterious process that's been kind of like appropriated here in the near dreaming. That lends to this like silver sheen, but you get well up within the upper canopies of this tree and can see a little bit over some of the surrounding trees that have kind of snuggled up to this one. So give me an perception alertness check just to see how far you can see, or to see what you can see.
4.
Okay. So 2, standard difficulty, right? Standard difficulty in 6. So that's a 6 and a 7. So you see kind of deeper into this forest. It's dense, and there's these silvery like branches cutting through the canopy, but you definitely see movement. And occasionally you see these flashes of something red and very large moving through the forest. And as you begin to see it in the distance, you also begin to hear a noise, kind of like a thumping, as this very large thing kind of moves like closer towards you.
I wonder if this is what I have been meant to find. I'll go in a little closer. So we'll close the distance.
Okay. As you begin to close the distance, give me a dex stealth roll.
Two.
Okay.
Hellboy.
You see this lumbering kind of demonic creature. It stands about 12 feet tall. Moving by itself, but it's thickly and powerfully muscled. So much, in fact, that it kind of shakes the earth as it moves.
Are you kidding me? All right, I'm going to study its movements for a moment. Is it doing anything in particular?
It's just moving through the forest, headed in your general direction.
It's not like destroying anything as it goes through the forest.
Yeah, occasionally it destroys some stuff just by step, but it doesn't look like it's intentionally destroying like the landscape or anything.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to close the gap a little bit more.
The close the gap, you mean you're going to go over to it?
I will address it actually. How close is it?
It was 20 feet away when you first saw it, so it's about within 15 feet of you now.
Hello.
Creature kind of stops, and its head kind of careens around as it's trying to get a kind of like a bead on where the voices come from. After a couple of seconds, it does finally get that bead, and it kind of narrows its eyes to observe you.
Just trying to read its gaze.
Pretty perception, empathy. Hmm. It looks determined and angry. So, two kind of complex emotions for your successes there.
Okay. Ah, forgive me. I am Sir Alexander Shaw, and he will give a bow.
Kind of nods and kind of looks you over um, as it continues to close the distance between the two of you. Um, it kind of kneels down to kind of eye you, so you guys are kind of more at a even level.
You seem a little perplexed.
You are weak, oath breaker.
Yeah, possibly so.
In the times before, we lived in peace with those who inhabited the tower, but you have ended that peace. Now there will be only war, only blood, only death for you and your ilk.
I don't quite understand.
You have violated our ancient peace by warring upon those who live in my forest.
Yes. That I have.
Why should I be any more merciful on you than you are on your oath-breaking brethren?
Well, if you have a moment, I must apologize. I did not know what I was doing. And I know that my actions have brought great dishonor upon myself and my mother. And I know there are no words nor any actions that I can do to amend or atone for what I have done. I am just learning. And I must admit that I still do not know much.
The creature seems to be considering Zander's words.
I have learned recently of some great things that my mother has done. And I hope to someday live up to those.
It nods, kind of almost in somewhat of a very primal type of appreciation. before it kind of lunges forward with like a roar at Zander, fire licking out of his mouth.
Holy shit!
Let's roll initiative.
Oh, that's a D10, right?
Yep. Snap. Oh, snap. What you got? Dex plus, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Wits plus, Dex plus Wits. Damn. What am I thinking?
5, 6,
Alright.
7,
What?
8.
8? All right. Yeah, so you see this creature like rushing towards Zander. It has like these black kind of claws that look more like rusted, like iron of some type. They're horrible, like black, like talons it has, but it's kind of like rushing forward, close in the distance to attack, presumably. But you have the initiative, so what do you do first?
Yeah, I am so wayfaring. Duh. Oh, shit. That's a nice picture, by the way.
Yeah.
Quicksilver.
Okay. Quicksilver, you'll get your actions next turn, though. FYI.
Snap my fingers, my bunk, baby. Let's go.
What are you doing?
I'm moving. It's charging at me. I'm moving.
So you say Quicksilver?
Yeah.
Okay. I said Quicksilver, you get your actions next turn, right?
Right.
Okay. So that's 2.
Oh, hold on. Someone's at the door. My apologies. Delivery guy for the wrong place. Had to tell him exactly how to get where he needed to go. So, since we are still live, my apologies. At this point, okay, he's back.
All right, not a problem. Let's get it.
Okay.
So this creature kind of breathes fire upon his fangs, and it kind of from his mouth, and it kind of manipulates the fire in such a way that it clings to his talons on each hand, kind of like giving them like this dark reddish kind of glow. All right, back to you.
Okay. Well, hell, if you want to do all that, then I guess it's time to go time. I'm going to see if this lightning bolt will calm his ass down a little bit. Nah. You know what? I will hold my hand out and I will do my bunk for Holly Strike.
Which is
the motion of a cross.
Okay.
And that sucks.
Ooh, it seems to have some capacity to some aggravated damage. How does your Holly Strike look? Describe this effect.
Okay. Zander will make a motion, and as the motion completes itself, it causes an explosion. So it's just like taking an explosive amount of damage all at one time.
Okay. As Zander does this, the creature's kind of knocked back a little bit because the explosion has somewhat of a concussive effect to it, as well as like fire and this kind of like rending damage of the cantrip. The creature doesn't seem to be harmed, but after this concussive, like this explosion kind of like fades and the sound kind of deadens a little bit, the sky, which is just barely perceptible between the branches of the trees, turned this baleful like red all of a sudden. And then the green kind of apparatus that were still clinging to these silver trees, these leaves begin to like turn as if like the seasons are changing within this realm as well, and they turn from green to reds to like this dull orange and begin to fall from the trees themselves as well. And the creature kind of smiles, satisfied that he's lured Zander into attacking when he himself had no intention.
Zander smirks. So, this is your game.
Oath breaker.
I swore no oath to you.
The oath was sworn over many generations ago, and your blood still holds its sacrosanct. He kind of looks around. Or else this will not be possible.
Zander looks around.
Welcome to the dying of your most dear dream. I wonder what effect this will have to the freehold that you like so much.
He looks down at the ground. He nods. So, this is the part where I would normally tuck my tail and run. Why did you do this?
I did nothing. You did this.
You know, I came here thinking that I knew everything. I realized that I know nothing at all.
Why did you come here?
Well, to be honest, I came here because I thought that is what was expected of me.
You did not come here because you were told. Why did you come here?
That was the reason I originally did. But I know,
He seems to grow at annoyance at that answer.
but you know, was it curiosity? I think it's more so that I wanted to know. I wanted to know more about my mother. I wanted to know more about this place and what I am, who I truly am. And I find that I am just as brash and as impulsive as I have ever been.
Sacrifice to me 3 things, and I will undo the magic that has been done today.
Sacrifice 3 things. Any 3 things that you have in mind?
They must be a sacrifice.
Pardon?
3 things that are a sacrifice. Not the butchering of the word that passes in the land of unfulfilled dreams. Actual sacrifices. Kind of folds his hands across his chest. What 3 things are worth undoing what has been done today?
Well, Let's see. And he looks at what he actually has. It's like,
give me a intelligence plus very memorable.
yeah. I won't do any of this roll.
You spend a willpower for automatic success.
Do. So that is 3.
Okay. The creature seems older, so it definitely, Braymere and his knowledge of the dream and its ways means a bona fide sacrifice. Not necessarily a sacrifice of blood, although those things did happen. But it means something that you have like some kind of attachment to. And Zander doesn't think anything else but something that he has some kind of attachment to is going to work for a sacrifice in this case. Three things quickly before I change my mind.
I don't know if I have 3 things worthy of sacrifice.
And what a woeful creature you are.
True. Very true. All I have had are material things in my life. None of them will seem to do. All I have is me. You call me an oathbreaker, so my pledges mean nothing to you.
And do you think I would have some use for a scribe thing such as yourself?
Okay, I'm going to try to read him, see if there's something he actually wants. Is that possible?
It'd be pretty tough to determine with a glance what someone might want. You could tell if there's something that he sees on you that he wants, perhaps.
Yeah.
Was that 2 successes?
No, that didn't clear from the last time.
Okay.
Perception and empathy. 6.
Okay. 3 successes. Doesn't look like there's anything that Zander has caught this creature's eye. He's definitely from an older dream. So with those successes, you could perhaps, go beyond looking and seeing there's something that he wants that you have to, like, extrapolating that perhaps maybe he's not interested in kind of like those finer things that she and mortals concern themselves with.
It's like, Well then, a sacrifice. And then I will give you the only things that I have in this life that I believe that I cherish the most.
He kind of turns your back. So you mean to have piqued his interest? Oh,
Though you may not have need for them. He reaches in his bag and he pulls out his mother's swords.
he looks
These are the blades of my mother. She left them to me. They are the only things that I have of hers. I will gladly give them to you. For I am not worthy of them.
He kind of nods. He looks at what do you know of these blades?
I know nothing. They were left to me. And all I know is that they were hers.
He nods. They will do. The blades and a blood sacrifice, he says. He goes over to Zander and goes to take the blades. When he does, he, with one massive size like palm, moves Xander's hand so his palm up, and he will run the blades across his palm, Xander's palm, and a little bit of blood will kind of catch on each of the blades and sizzle. And this chimerical creature turns instead to Zander himself.
Looking very, very perplexed.
There is much you do not know. There's much that has happened today that you will not understand until years later. That is okay. You have passed the test. Your sacrifice is accepted. And the creature kind of, well, the creature that was once this demon kind of like wavers and it kind of crumbles. And on the ground where this creature has crumbled are still the two swords, but they're much different than the swords that Zander passed over to his mirrored self, this strange avatar that's been formed as either part of the test or part of his own consciousness in this dreaming realm that surrounds his mother's freehold. There's so much like mental anguish and torment and energy. It'll be hard for the most highest rated psychologists to discern like all the symbolism that Zander has seen today. And perhaps he's going to spend a lot of couch time with a psychologist until he kind of unravels everything he's seen today. But for now, he's left with two brilliant blazing swords that seem to hum with a power. The swords that he's left with aren't his mother's swords. The swords that Zander sees before him are his swords, instruments and tools of his own will, meant to help him cut his way through an oft-time bleak and deadly reality. And if you don't have any other questions, I think perhaps that's where we can end our scene.
Yeah, Xander's still like
What?
Dumbstruck. Yeah, he's like, Nani? Wow. He will pick up the swords. Just like, wow. All right. And we will end the scene there.